YouTube. What's going on, everyone? It is D Dunn here, and we are back on Oakland A's franchise, and we are at a pivotal moment of this season. Um, Breaking the fourth wall momentarily. Uh, for some reason, the game didn't autosave. Also, if you can hear a lot of squeaking in the background, as because I am dog sitting, and so my 75-pound puppy now has a 70-pound pit bull puppy to play with. Yeah, mine is 2 years old. The Pitty's 4 years old, and they're on the guest bed next to me, just wrestling, and it's very squeaky. So I apologize if that's distracting. I'll try and get them out of here. But anyway, so for some reason the game did not save after last episode. So hovering around like I think it was this mark the 13th, 14th. After that didn't save, so I simmed. I did the same, whatever you call it, the same scouting on the Sunday. So nothing changed except for we lost a couple more games. So instead of being next to last or third in the division, we're now last in the division. But there's only, like I said, 2 games difference. So not really a big difference from where we were at. But this episode is going to be absolutely pivotal for the rest of this season. Coming off of, the dream team, the team of destiny that snuck into the wild card and won a World Series last year. We are now dead last in the division. We're 14 games out of first place, so winning the division is incredibly unlikely. And on top of that, we're now 8 games out of the wild card. Obviously, we started the season really strong, so we know we're capable of getting that wild card spot, but it would be incredibly difficult. And the guys that were overperforming last year are underperforming this year. Not even playing to their level, but underperforming. So when we look at our lineup, Dylan Carlson actually has been pretty good. He's actually having his best season yet. So we moved him up to leadoff. Chapman is having a big slump over previous years, not even slugging above 400, which he's never done in his career. So just does not have power. Only 4 home runs halfway through the season. Geloff is also having a huge slump, only batting .230, slugging over 400, which is okay, but he's not getting on base. Jorge Soler, our free agent signing, he's doing what we wanted him to do. His average could be a bit higher, but his on base is good, his slugging is good, so that's fine. Brown is playing to his level. Ruiz is okay. Mauricio is below average. And Noda, who was a huge surprise last season with 21 home runs, slugging .440, kind of in the same place as Geloff. On base is better, average is low, slugging is low. We just don't have power. It is nice to see a resurgence of Tyler Soderstrom, who is hitting again, having this could actually end up being a breakout year. So that's actually good to see after a slump last year. So we have some decisions to make. Do we buy? Do we sell? Do we make a push? And I don't honestly have the answer right off the bat. We have the draft to get through. And before we do that, I think we're going to set our trade block. I think that's time we're going to set our trade block, and we're going to see what offers we get in this last month leading up to the trade deadline. So looking at who we have, I definitely am going to look to probably move a pitcher. Tyler Wells. We have him for 4 more years. I think it'd be hard to move him after just signing him. And he has been good. He's just not doing well right now. He also was injured for the first half of the season, so we don't have a huge sample size. Only 36 innings. Walker Buehler has been probably our best pitcher. Chris Paddock is slumping, regressing. Just a bad year overall. Eric Lauer is improving, but not having a good year. We only have 1 year left on his deal. But I think Caprillian's definitely going to be up. He is in our long reliever role, but he's not doing well. He's done okay in previous years, but we just don't really have a place for him. Kyle, I don't know why I keep saying Kyler. Kyle Muller is just, he can't seem to break through. He's 27, so he's, kind of at the cusp of he needs to make it or he needs to get moved. We still have a lot of team control, but he's doesn't cost a lot. Kind of same way with Freddie Tarnock. But I think we still probably keep those guys for a year or two. Clevenger has been not great, and we only signed him to a 2-year deal for $4 million. We knew that maybe he wasn't going to be good. We just were kind of hoping maybe we could get him for a year or two, and he would be solid. And he, like I said, he's been okay, but just definitely not what we were hoping for. So we're going to shop some players, position player wise. I think we're looking at, we have lots of young talent that we could look to move and maybe get something out of that just don't really have a hope of making it the big. Someone like Nick Allen, who's 26, 26 years old, see potential. He can play pretty much the whole infield, but does he have a shot at making it when we have other younger, more talented guys? We could look to move Blade. He is playing really well. He's a B potential guy. But when we look, we have Seth Brown, Olivares, Jorge Soler, Martin Meza. Like, the chances of him playing for us at the major league level are slim, and he could have some value. We could look to move Olivares. He was our DH last year, but he only has 27 at bats this entire season and hasn't been good. He was good for us last season, so he could look to make an impact on a different team. And we have some guys here that we could shop and possibly get a nice trade piece. All right, so starting pitcher, we'll put Clevenger on here. We'll put Caprillion on here. I don't think there's anyone down here that's like old that we would look to move. Everyone down, actually, Osvaldo Bido, 29 years old, C potential player. No shot he makes it to the bigs, but he's got something. So, he could be a long reliever for another team, just not for us. I think we're okay on relief pitching. Luther Hanna might actually get the call up in September. He has been amazing down in Double A. And then, let's see, just looking for areas where we have a ton of depth. I think we said Nick Allen, we get traded. And then, Blade, he could be good, but I don't see him coming up. But we'll put him and Olivares on the block. And then I think Connor Capel as well. He's very good defensively, very good defensively. He's honestly a solid ball player. Just kind of those guys where, like, we have some younger guys below him. He's 27. He's probably going to peak in the next year or two. He could have some value, so we're going to look to see what we could possibly get out of him. So that's the trade block. And then what are we going to look for? Our starting pitching has been okay, but we still, even though we signed who we thought was going to be our ace, he's actually not been performing very well. So I think we see if we can get maybe a potential ace or maybe a young, if there's an exciting prospect out there. Noda hasn't been playing particularly well, and we don't have anyone, I think, that can step up and fill his shoes. Sean Lima is good. He's been really good in AAA. Actually, he's been phenomenal in AAA. So we may look to call him up. But he's also 29 and possibly at the peak at 72 overall, see potential. So we may look for a long-term option at first base. second, third, short. We still need a shortstop. We still need a third baseman of the future. And then I think we're okay. Maybe we look for a fielder. How many more can we put? Just one more? Yeah. Maybe. Is left field really that weak? I mean, the thing is, yeah, I guess it is because Jorge Soler is our DH. Olivares doesn't play, and he's not great on defense. He has a good arm, but he just doesn't have the reaction time. Brown's good, but not against lefties, and we're looking to shop Lede. Mays is not ready to make it, so yeah. Whoops. Let's put a left fielder on there. Okay. So trade block is set. I'm sure we're going to get some offers on some players. And we are just a few days away from the draft. So I think now is the time. Let's go ahead and sim to the draft and get that underway. Kyle Muller out for a day. Okay, keep him active. All right, here we go. Our first trade offer. Ow, and they want Chapman. So they think that we should be selling. Chapman obviously has a ton of value, and he's not playing well this year. They want to offer us Mick Abel, very young B potential player, already 75 overall, not playing great down in AAA. Okay. And then we actually do need a shortstop, and they want to offer us a young prospect, William Bergola, another young B potential guy. Playing pretty well in AAA. This is actually a pretty reasonable trade offer. So we have one more year of control for Chapman after this year. And he is in a major slump. His average is good. He's batting 270. He just does not have power this year. But if we do this, then we're 100% saying we're selling. I guess the only other option would be to move up Sean Lima, who, like I said, has been playing well. So we could put him at first. That would put us in a bit of a punch, though. This is a really good trade, and this is really tough. This is really tough. Because, oh man. Who do the Phillies have at third? Alec Boehm, who is playing better than Chapman. He's not injured. Do they move him into shortstop? No, because they have Trey Turner. He's been out, but looks like he'll be back shortly. So as good as this trade is, and I'm on the fence, I also don't see what the Phillies are looking for here, because they have. I mean, obviously Alec Boehm is not as good as Chapman, but he's playing better than Chapman. So why, it's a good trade. I would be tempted to take it. Oh, and look, and they have this guy, Bill Trejo, who only has 77 at bats. Look like he's a bench bat, but he has a 996 OPS. He's just not good defensively. I would honestly I'd be almost willing to trade for this guy because he's almost a mirror image of Chapman, just not the same power versus lefties, and obviously not good defensively, but kind of the discount version of Chapman, severe discount. Good trade. Maybe if we get offered this towards the end of the trade deadline and we're sucking still, then we may actually take that. But we'll decline it for now. It just doesn't really make sense for the Phillies. All right. All right. And here we are. We are at the draft. Now, if you've been watching the series, you know last year we had an all pitcher draft, which is not uncommon because it's really easy. There's just so many pitchers. It's so easy to find good value down the board, and you just don't have that in position players. But we spent the entire scouting for the season looking at position players only. So we have a lot of options. And there's one in particular I think we definitely have our eye on, and it's Douglas Vaughn. 18-year-old second baseman who also plays third, so he could be our potential Chapman replacement, or if Geloff does not get his stuff together. 70% scouted, so there's still a huge range in terms of unknowns. But looks like he has great contact skills, some pretty good power, good defense. Just looks to be an overall well-rounded player. And the thing I'm looking at him is that his draft rank is 77, and we have him all the way down at number 7. So there's a good chance, even though we're picking the very end of the first round, he could fall to us. So he's definitely our number 1 guy. That is who we want. Fingers crossed. Ahead of him, we have a whole bunch of options. Some guys, that are partially scouted, but that's unfortunately kind of what we have to do. And in no particular order, we are just throwing some guys on here. Basically just going to fill up our draft queue for the first potential round or two. And then after that, we'll just look to kind of see who we have scouted and who some of our options are. But that second baseman, he's definitely our guy. This could be another one, Sean Almanzar. Yeah. Definitely not as well-rounded in terms of batting, but a little bit more power and very good defensively. Plays first and third. Similar, originally ranked 52nd, we have him at 27. He's a solid, defensive-minded player. Those are always okay. Not a single shortstop that interested us. Some outfield prospects that we really like but probably won't fall to us. Gino Bronson was one of our discovered players. Definitely has some potential there. But unfortunately, we just don't have him scouted very far. Even a guy like this down the board could be good. Probably a B potential player or high C potential, but looks just well-rounded overall. Not going to spin on that. All right. Hey, Brandon. Cool. I will probably be on for another hour and a half or so. But thanks for checking in. Okay, so there's our queue. Douglas Vaughn is our number 1 priority, and then we have a lot of options down the board. We invested, like I said, all of our scouting potential, or our scouting time into these position players. So here we go. First pick of the draft. All right, sounds good, Brandon. Clyde Reese, 18-year-old starting pitcher, and he's injured. Ooh, bold move from the White Sox, picking an injured starting pitcher. So we have no idea what he's actually going to look like. At number 2, Jose Cortez, another 18-year-old starting pitcher, going to the Giants. And the 3rd overall pick, Kansas City Royals select Gerard Aparicio, 18-year-old second baseman. Huge bonus demand, asking for $5 million. Wow. All right. And now we wait. Do we get Douglas Vaughn? Does he fall to us? Manuel Estrada, who draft rank 1, and we had him also at number 1, another starting pitcher. First outfielder to go is Charlie Sherry, center fielder. These look to be some solid options. Felipe Carrera, we had him scouted a little bit. He actually looks like a pretty solid option there. We had him all the way down at 53, though, and he goes at number 6. Robert Murillo, a catcher, looks to be a really great prospect here. Good bat skills, great defensively. Solid pick there for the Red Sox. Maury Valdez, another starting pitcher. David Casado, right fielder. We had him at 18. He looks to be a really good potential player. Really good. Bryant Kang, young 18-year-old left fielder with huge pop. He's got a huge bat. Looks like he could be, a good guy for the Mariners. Might hit some dingers. Ron Harder in the right field. A lot of 18-year-olds in this draft. Kind of same. We had him at number 9, so he fell a little bit to 11. TJ Farr, starting pitcher. Julian Walton, another starting pitcher. Looks like TJ Farr opted out of his doctor's exam. Could be worrying. He might actually be a injury liability. Jesus Sandoval, another starting pitcher. Paul Doe. And we still have Douglas Vaughn on the board. We are hoping that he continues to fall. Again, MLB had him at 77. We had him at number 7. Ramon Pena, another starting pitcher. Okay, seen some more pitchers go, which is good. The more pitchers go, the more likely we are to get our guy. Derek Russell, another starting pitcher. So that's, I think, four or 5 pitchers in a row. Lou Garcia, another catcher that we had on our board. Had him down at 36. Looks like to be a nice power guy. Good defensively as well behind the plate. Vince Perkins. Lots of 18-year-old pitchers here. This guy looks like he could be pretty good. Yusniel Cabral out of Georgia. Looks to be a pretty well-rounded left fielder. Lots of speed, good stealing, decent contact, and plate skills. Richie Simpson. Looks like he definitely has the potential to be very, very good. Wow. His pitches are good. That might be a great value pick. All the way down to 22. Dave Cortez. That's another second baseman, which is worrying because I think that would mean our guy would be the next second baseman to go. David Kim and Ralph Pritchett. We're getting close. We're getting close. Greg Peterson, I think a guy we had on our board. Definitely somebody I think we would have picked way farther down. Reggie Navarre, Rene Castilla. All right. Does LA need a second baseman? No, they don't. They take Kurt Thomas, a third baseman. And that means we get our guy. We already know that's who we wanted. We had him at number 7. MLB said he was ranked 77th. Could be our potential Matt Chapman replacement. Welcome to the team from the Netherlands, 18-year-old Douglas Vaughn. All right. Now we pick again very quickly in the competitive balance round A. So we need to look at who we're going to pick. Do we take Geno Bronson? I don't think so. I think he's going to fall. We discovered him. It's very likely he's going to continue to be there. But we could go with another third baseman, also someone who plays first base. Could give us some depth at first base, which we don't necessarily have. There are definitely some options out there that we wanted. Interesting that Andreas Villalobos here can also play outfield as a catcher. Great fielding skills, has a pretty good arm, good reaction time, no speed, so there's no shot he actually plays right field. Definitely would be a catcher. Pretty good bat skills. Here we are at 38. None of these guys we have that high except for Sean Almanzar, who I feel actually pretty good about. Plays third and first. Let's take a look at all the prospects really quick. Yikes. Anyone on here that looks that is ranked high? This guy we discovered. Adrian Nunez, maybe. James Santos, maybe. You know, he jumped quite a ways, but we only have him scouted 20%. Whereas we have Sean Almanzar scouted all the way to 65%. I think we go with him. We have him at 27. We're picking 38, so technically, you know, we're getting some value. And, you know, can play third and first, which is something we need. So, Sean Almanzar, third baseman, welcome to the team. I feel really good about our first 2 picks. Very good about number 1 overall, or our number 1 pick. All right, from here on, we're not going to watch the board. We're going to just go ahead and sim to our next pick in the draft. I do worry about Geno Bronson falling. We only have him scouted 25%. I know he was discovered. We're picking at 68. Don't really need a catcher. We don't have a lot of depth at second, though. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be Ramon Taveras, and then we go Gino Bronson next round. So we draft a third. Who was our? So we had second. So we have a second baseman, a third baseman, and then do we really draft 2 second basemen? Just take a quick look at all the prospects. Actually, James Santos might be a guy, because the fact that he jumped up from 80 to 47 after we scouted him just a little bit leads me to believe that even though he's not going to be this good, he's probably going to be solid. We need an outfielder. He looks just well-rounded. Offensively, good defensively. Yeah, I think we do it. James Santos, welcome to the team. Kind of reaching a little bit. Oh no. Gino Bronson. Looks like Seattle was looking for players as well, and they found him. That's a little disappointing. It's a little disappointing. That's also all of our guys that we had on the board, which is fine. Which is fine. We still scouted lots of players. We have center fielder here, Ray Penn from Missouri, my home state. Looks like he might have been a discovered player, but he also doesn't look like this is risky. He could be a D potential, like a 60 overall with 60 potential. His potential and overall are going to match. Do we think that he's an 80 overall with B potential? Very unlikely. But he could be a C potential player. We have him at 89. Aldo Murillo is definitely someone intriguing option. Out of Oklahoma, good contact skills, cannon behind the plate. If Ray Penn was discovered, it's likely he'll still fall. So let's get a catcher on the board. Aldo Murillo. Okay. Oh my gosh. He got nabbed. That's okay. That's okay. I wasn't super sold on that center fielder anyway. Another catcher here who does not look as good. Third baseman Mark Johnson. What pick are we at right now? We are at pick 134. Mark Johnson, another third baseman. Do we have anybody that we've really scouted? Cesar Bourbon plays third and right. We actually have him decently scouted. Likely a C potential player. Probably like a 70 something overall and a 50 60 something, or 50 60 something overall, and probably a C potential guy. Looks to be good defensively, ends up having a decent bat. We have him at 142. We're picking at 134, so it wouldn't be too much of a stretch. Everyone else we just don't really have scouted. I mean, we just got a catcher. Oh, this guy actually has a chance of being A potential. So that could be something. But actually doesn't look as good. We already picked 2 infielders. But Mark Johnson actually has some potential. But I think we go with Cesar Bourbon from Mississippi. I don't expect him to be great, but he looks like a solid player. He looks like a solid player. And that's okay. This far down, we're looking for some value. Cesar Bourbon, hopefully he's not a D potential guy. Okay. Brandon Yoshida still here. Still, an option at A potential. So there's something there. We have Luis Bermudez. Looks okay, but definitely more of a defensive focused player. There's nothing wrong with that. Tristan Sullivan, very worried. Looking at the potential at the overall potentially being all the way down at 26. If that's the case, he would literally never see the MLB because he'd be 40 years old by the time he reached his full potential. Don't think we go catcher again. Although this was a good draft for catchers. What up, Mr. Pack? Adam Pack, thank you for joining, brother. Thank you for joining the live stream. Brandon. Can't find out what's wrong until Tuesday at this doctor's, but that's pretty good. Oh, man. Brandon, take care of yourself. Watch your heart, man. Take care of your heart. All right. I got 2.5 minutes, so I do have to focus a little bit here. Obviously, when we're picking 164, we're not looking at the best and brightest that the MLB has to offer us. But it looks like we're going to draft another catcher. Just best available player, has the option, has the potential to be an A potential player. Decent defensively, decent bat. Could be something. All right. And here at 194, our last pick in the draft, Brian Tejada. He looks to be terrible. I at least want someone who has the potential. Like a C potential guy is fine. I would take anyone that has a decent bat and decent potential. So many catchers. This is it, huh? All right. So Steve Sparks is going to be the guy. Right fielder out of Indiana, the Hoosier. Got him. All right. And that is this year's draft. I don't feel great about it. Definitely, I don't think going to be as good as last year's draft, but it's just hard to find quality down the board and position players in this game. All right. So we did pass the minor league Apologies for the growling in the background. My dog has decided that he wants to hump our friend dog that we're watching. No humping, please. Thank you. But anyway, we have some minor league all-stars. Quite a few in Double A. Luther Hanna, our closing pitcher down there, who's absolutely disgusting. A 1.8 ERA and a .92 WHIP. Filthy. Daryl Hernandez. Stuart Orr, likely. Daniel Susak. Okay. Oh, wow. Miles Naylor, Tommy Stevenson. We have a lot of Double A All-Stars. It's really cool to see. I know, I do need to beat the Trastros. Cheating little turds. Yup. Those trash cans. Dude, how is that not the biggest MLB scandal of all time? They just got a slap on the wrist. Like, nothing happened. But unfortunately, I don't think we might not even make the playoffs this year. And then no All-Stars in our AAA roster, which is very surprising. All right. So let's sim through. We, of course, don't have one in the anyone participating in the Home Run Derby, so we'll skip that. Sim through the All-Star game. Oh, okay. Okay. So we did set our trade block, and we had Mike Clevenger on there. We kind of took a chance on him. And so the Guardians want to give us Ben Lively. Starting pitcher down in AAA, who is doing very well, but 33 years old, regressing. We don't need that. Okay, so now I think we passed the AAA. Yeah, okay, so there we go. We passed the AAA All-Star game, so now we can see who our AAA All-Stars are. So we have maybe Mason Miller. I think since it says that he's on fire right now, we don't actually get to see. But Lawrence Butler for sure made it. 15 home runs is actually pretty good. Freddie Tarnok. Sean Lima, who is definitely, we might have to call him up before September because he is crushing it. 891 OPS, 16 home runs, 21 doubles, has 50. Oh wait, that's strikeouts. That's solid numbers, and he is progressing quickly. He's hitting very well against lefties. It looks like he's not good defensively, but he doesn't need to be playing first base. Oh, hold on. Let me catch up on some of these chats here. Oh, that pitcher was actually really good. I know, but he is playing well. We saw that. Even on here, he's playing well, but he's playing well in the minors. I don't know if he's going to come up and be better than Mike Clevenger. I didn't rebrand the team. This is just one of our minor league guys. Killer Clowns. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Okay. So it looks like that's all the All-Stars for AAA. Okay. And this should be, okay, so this is our first day to sign our draft picks. Obviously, Douglas Vaughn was the guy we wanted, and that's the guy we got. Feel really good about him. And I want to definitely add some of these guys that we didn't have scouted very far and see if they're actually worth signing. But we're going to go, let's see, so we have $7.5 million. No one else is even asking for very much. Sean Almanzar is asking for 1.7. So we are at no risk of running out of money. So we really want to sign Douglas Vaughn. He wants 1.9. We'll offer 2.3. And he does sign. Okay. That was our big concern, getting that guy. Ever seen any of these guys play live? Like in real life? Or these guys that we just drafted? No, we won't see them till next year. That's the one weird thing about MLB is you draft these guys in the middle of the year and then you don't actually get to see them for a while. All right. So go ahead and advance, finalize that. All right. Have another day to sign draft picks. Sean Almanzar looks to be the player that we thought he was. So we'll go ahead. Why? Oh, because he's not at 50% yet, so we cannot offer him a contract. James Santos only is getting better. Did we just land the steal of the draft right here? James Santos? Could be. Sim another 3 days so we can. Uh-oh. Bak Ho Kang has a broken arm out 2 to 3 months. So he's going to go to the 60 days. We'll have to adjust the lineups. And the Blue Jays, oh my God, this could be a trade. They want to give us Trevor Rogers, a young A potential lefty in AAA who is disgusting right now. Under 3 ERA, whip at a 1.26. Has major league experience and has not been good, but he is progressing. And they want Osvaldo Bita, just one of our younger AAA guys, or he is older. And then they want Olivares. That's who they really need, Olivares. Great bat. But we just don't have a place for him. And it looks like Dalton Varsho is really slumping. P. Crow Armstrong having an okay year. Of course, not anything. So it looks like they might use him at right. Okay. And then who do they have as starting pitchers where they can just give me this guy? Oh my God, they have Kevin Guzman, Jose Barrios, old man Clayton Kershaw. Okay. I think this trade makes sense for the Blue Jays. It makes sense for us. And we're going to take it. So now we have some things to change. We got to look at our starting pitchers. Trevor Rogers, I think we are going to go ahead and bring him up. And we'll send Caprillion down to AAA. Although Eric Lauer, really struggling. But Caprillion goes down to AAA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then we're going to take out. Oh my God. All right. So we'll move Eric Lauer out for Trevor Rogers. So we have Lauer and Wells in our long relief role. Actually, even though his ERA is over 4, his WHIP is actually pretty low. So we'll put Clevenger in the long relief role, Trevor Rogers, Julio Rice. Rice is now acting like our ace, even though he's just normally a relief pitcher, but he's crushing it. So he's going to be our number 1. And then, so we go lefty, righty, lefty. Okay. So we'll rock with that. That could be huge. But then we also now need to move someone up. And I think now's the time where we have Sean Lima has been crushing it in the minors. He's certainly earned the call up. We're going to add him to the 40-man. He is now on the MLB roster. Now, who is going to play first base? Oh my goodness, in AAA. They are down 4 people. Wow. Okay, so J.J. Schwartz can play first. So at least we have that covered. Let's move. We'll move Brett Harris to AAA. Daryl Harnais goes to AAA. And Jacob Wilson, who's been struggling, goes down to AA. We'll also bring up St. Aud to AA. Did I say St. Aud? Sorry, I meant Angles. I can't pronounce that name. I would like to move Martin Meza to AAA, but I really need him to progress faster, and he really struggled in AAA last year. So, and it looks like Colby Thomas is doing just fine, batting over 300, so he's going to go to AAA. I think we're good there. I think that balances out AA and AAA pretty well. Okay. And oh man. Now Noda can play outfield, so we still have a backup in outfield, but now we also have a backup first baseman. Problem is, I think what we do is let's put Sean Lima in over Noda versus lefties, because he excels versus lefties. I think the six. Mm, Gelof's actually on fire right now. So we'll leave him. So we'll leave Lima down there in the 6th spot. Ruiz is getting dunked on. He just cannot find his bat. We just don't have anyone that gets on base consistently. I think it's going to be Geloff, though. And they'll actually put Sean Lima in at the 5 spot. All right, so we'll see how he does versus lefties there. And then that means we'll have to adjust our AAA lineups. Okay. Man, that one charade made a huge difference. So, yeah, some of these guys from South America, I really struggle to pronounce. All right, so now, who was it? Schwartz? Yeah, so Schwartz can play first. And then Hernandez is our short. Okay. Curtis Meade should probably be third. How are you batting 277? That's crazy. Put Hernandez up there. Blade should probably move up to 5th. Okay, that looks good enough. Not really too concerned. And then versus lefties. Curtis Meade again should be third. Move Blade up because he actually has some power. Nick Allen maybe leading off. Okay. Oh my God, I hate setting lineups. All right, so first base. Shoot. Okay, we do have first baseman. Then we need a left fielder. Okay, our DH. Who's going to DH? Jacob Wilson. And then it's 7, Fujita. Isn't that a Dragon Ball Z character, Fujita? No, that's Vegeta, right? Curtis Meade on the Rays. Yeah, I think that's where we traded to get him from. I think that was actually in year 1. And I thought he was going to be a starter for us, but we just haven't found a place for him consistently in the majors. Okay, so, I mean, I just don't really care about who's where in AA. half the time I just let the computer edit these whenever there's injuries or something. So these will get changed 15 times by the end of the year. Anyway. Okay. Another day to sign draft picks. Yeah, and Sean Almanzar actually looks like he was a steal. Oh, I guess we got him in the competitive balance round. I thought we picked him later. But he looks like he could actually be potentially very good, which is very exciting. Although he's still not over 50% interest, so I can't sign him. James Santos could be another super valuable player, 40% scouted, and he still has 98 potential. These dogs are being insane. All right. Let's go ahead and give James Santos contract offer. He signs. Because I need to scout some of these other guys. Like Steve Sparks. He's only at 20%. Looks like he could actually be terrible. I don't want to waste, 500 grand on someone that's obviously awful. Anthony Matsui down in Double A, out for a day or two. Keep him active. And oh my gosh. The Mets want Nick Allen. Why the hell do you want Nick Allen? New York Mets. Is it because you're the Mets and you're trying to be bad? They want to give me G-Man Choi. Who they have on the MLB roster. He's had 5 at-bats all season. He's not a bad bat, but we just brought up a first baseman. So, and you have Francisco Lindor, and so he's in. Okay, Servius. This trade just doesn't make sense. So we're going to cancel that. Have another day to sign draft picks. Okay. All right. I still want to sign Sean's Almanzar, but his interest is going up so slowly. So slowly. And Sean Lima, the guy we just brought up from the minors for the first league, out for a couple days. Keep him active. Matsui's back in minors. And we are still not winning games consistently enough. We are losing ground for the wild card. So if we get, I know someone was going after Chapman. It looks like we're getting some trade offers from some people, from some teams who think we should be selling, and we probably should be. But Luther Hanna has been exquisite in the minors. There's no shot we get rid of that young talent. We're not selling that hard. Can I please? Okay, so I can finally offer Almanzar a contract. We're going to go ahead and up it to $2 million. Of course, he declines because, of course. This catcher actually looks like he is pretty solid. And we still have other guys to scout. He signs for $500,000. Let's take a look at Brandon Yoshida to see if he is actually someone we want to sign. I think we probably got 2-3 good players in this draft. The Rays want Caprillion. You can have him. What do you want to give me for him? And even worse, JT Brudebaker. He's been around a while. I know he had some years with Pittsburgh. So you want me to give you Caprillion for someone that's worse than Caprillion? No, thank you. The Mets are again offering me Ji-Man Choi for JJ Bleday. Again, we just give me someone besides Ji-Man Choi. We're going to up it to 2.17 for Sean Almanzar, and that does get him to sign. So our two rookies that we really wanted to sign, we signed. The rest of these guys, maybe Brandon Yoshida. He definitely is someone I actually want, and then the other guys I don't really care. So just let him run. The Brewers want Connor Capel for Mike Estrada. Okay. So I would be trading Connor Capel, a much more refined defensive player, for a pure contact, get on base left fielder Mike Estrada, getting someone younger. Connor Capel, like I said, way better defensively, but playing well enough in the minors. Mike Estrada has a huge arm. Yeah, I'm willing to get a little bit younger. This looks like an okay trade. Let me just make sure that he is going to stay in the minors. Yeah, so he's a AAA. Let's go down to AAA and put him in, but we are going to he's not going to be our DH. He's going to be our right fielder. And he needs to be leading off for sure. High contact, high vision, high discipline. Why are we being so growly? Again, dog sitting. And these two panty puppies just will not stop going at it. Not like in a bad way. Just okay. And then versus lefties. This Mike Estrada kid, see potential, but just the quintessential leadoff guy. Pretty happy with that get, actually. Yeah, we're watching this pity. We're watching him for 2 weeks. His owner is going to Germany for 2 weeks, so we're watching him while she's gone. All right, so I actually feel that was a pretty good trade. Trade an older guy, going to have some value for the team he went to. Okay. Oh, this is kind of funny. So, season 1, we ended up trading away Paul Blackburn. Looks like he played, or not year 1, I guess it was last year. So he played for the Dodgers, pitched for them for a little bit, did okay, 4.5 ERA, nothing crazy. And then looks like this year he's down in AAA where he's not doing well, and they want to send him back for J.J. Bleday. That's not going to happen. The Rays want J.J. Bleday. I thought we might get some value out of him. They wanted to give me Randy Dobnik, a 30-year-old AAA player. He would have to be in the majors for us, and I don't think he's got it. So pass on that trade. Okay, we only have two more days to sign, or 2 more opportunities to sign our draft picks. Brandon Yoshida looks good enough for depth. We'll offer him $350. He signs. I think we're going to pass on Cesar Bourbon. And we're going to pass on Steve Sparks as well. At best, with Sparks, we get a very low B potential player and probably a 40 overall. So just not a lot there. And then Cesar Bourbon. At best, we're getting a mid-C potential player that's like a 70 overall. He actually looks like he has some decent skills, though. So let's actually... Bourbon actually has a chance. So we'll finalize. We'll scout for 1 more week, see where he's at, and then we'll maybe make him an offer. The Nationals want Caprillion for Eddie Rosario. Nope. No need. Okay. So someone wants Chapman. Christian Mena. Young prospect. Looks okay. He's playing well in the minors. And then, what the hell is this name? Davision de Los Santos. Davision de Los Santos. So, ooh. Okay, so actually limited experience in the majors. 64 at-bats, but is batting well. Has an 800, just over 800 OPS. Placed 3rd and 1st. This is actually intriguing. So we would get a bit younger. I would be absolutely heartbroken to see Chapman go, because He was, part of the heart of this team when the last time they were good in real life. And he is improving, though. His slug has finally broken 400. His on base is crazy at 361. The only problem is we should be selling. Do we think Chappie's got it for another year? We have him under contract for one more year. This is actually a really good trade, but I think I have to pass. We still have potential. Today's the trade deadline. Okay. We still have some pieces that we could look to trade. We could package a deal. Because we're making a move. We're making a run. We're now third in the division. Of course, we have no shot of overtaking the Rangers. With 2 months left, we could actually take the Trastros. Because we're only 7 games behind them. And we've gained 2.5 games towards the wild card. We're still a ways away. We are still a ways away, but we could do it. We could still make a wild card. Let's look at the trade block. Brandon Lowe could be a huge get. But he's having the worst year of his career. Or one of the worst years in his career. He's also 30 years old, and he's only going to get more expensive. If there was a shortstop in here, or someone maybe we could plug and play at short. Because that's one area where we're actually not secure. Mauricio is not really panned out. Ahmed Rosario, okay. So he can play the entire infield and right field. He's batting very well, slugging over 500. OPS over 900. Eddie and Ahmed. Whoops. Ahmed could be a get. Looks like he's a bench bat for the Rays right now. Anyone else down here that... How's Shea been doing since we traded him away? Jesus. That was only 4 at-bats. 2 hits, a home run. Yeah. Not doing great this season. Sounds about right. I would love to get... So, Do we go after Ahmed Rosario? Put him at short? He's batting insane right now. And when we look at our current lineup, Gelof's been struggling, so he could pop in for Gelof. Mauricio, who we might actually trade for him. He's actually improved. Just really struggling against lefties. Who else would we trade, though? I'm sure we could find someone. Is that the move? Does that... Jesus. Sorry, my dog just will not stop humping this other dog. It's driving me crazy. I feel like it's really... Julio Urias has been nice. But, you know, we got Trevor Rogers in that trade. He's pitched 15 innings and has a 7.6 ERA. Like, I would package 3 or 4 of these guys for a true ace pitcher. Who's completely out of it? Who is completely out of the wild card? White Sox, Blue Jays, Rockies, Mets, Nationals. Do we go after Tristan McKenzie? He hasn't been good, but he has been this year. But he's been crazy previous years. And looks like he could be a guy of the future. Blue Jays. We could go after Kevin Guzman. Bad year last year, not great this year. Much older, though, and regressing. Alek Manoah. He looks insane. Who else was there that would definitely be selling? The Mets. They actually surprisingly don't have anyone pitching. I think the Nationals. We could make 2 pretty big trades here. We could go after Tristan McKenzie or Alek Manoah. Neither of them, though, are pitching much better than the guys we already have. That's the problem. This year is absolutely crazy. 4.7 WAR. Only giving less than a home run per 9. FIP at 3.4. That's crazy. Both are 27. Both have A potential. Both pretty. What's his contract? 2 years team control. Two years team control. This is really tough. They both have like the same numbers too. Tristan McKenzie just doesn't. He has a 3-pitch mix, has no velocity. But so much more experience and has pitched phenomenal. He's just having a little bit of a down year this year. They're both righties. Both 27. I don't know. This is tough. The only thing that worries me about Benoa is his has much lower walk per 9. And he's never really had like. He's had some good years. Like 2023 was bad. I just don't know, and I'm deliberating on this a lot. We would. All right. Can we get Tristan McKenzie? Paddock has been shockingly bad, but we just signed him, so I don't think we can dump him. Eric Lauer wasn't great last year and hasn't been good this year. We'll throw him in there. And then Caprillion. And Clevenger is actually bouncing back. and Walker Buehler. This would give them, so Eric Lauer would be automatically their best pitcher. And then they could decide, basically gives them like a 1-year deal if they want to re-sign him or not. They would get Walker Buehler, who would be their third or fourth best by overall. They would have him for 4 years. And then they would also have Caprillion. Brandon says, nice moves you're making and looking at. So you approve of this deal? You like this deal? I feel bad getting, because Eric Lauer, he is improving though, but somehow we won a World Series with him. But this, what do you think, Brandon? Do I take this trade? I think so. Okay. All right. So Eric Lauer, Caprillion, and Buehler for Tristan McKenzie. The White Sox should be selling. This gives them 3 new arms that are just as good as what they have. Okay. And now we have a new potential ace. I want to make one more trade. I want to go after Ahmed Rosario. He's 29 years old. He's not hitting lefties great, but he at 179 at bats, so it's not even a small sample size. He's slugging over 500. On base is almost 400. OPS over 900. He's having the best season of his career. He can play the entire infield. The problem is, who do we give him? And the Rays also suck this year, so they should be selling. So this makes sense. They need a center fielder. We could give them Ruiz. They would trade straight up for Ruiz. I think, though, in real life, this doesn't make sense. Or at least not like a ton of sense. Ruiz is 3 years younger and just as good. So I guess there's that, but he is not performing as well. I feel like this is a moment where I'd have to save the computer from itself a little bit. We have so much depth in left field. Also, the question is, he would likely play, so he would take over from Mauricio. Do we trade Mauricio? He's just really, they're both struggling against lefties, like a lot. So maybe Mauricio's, Mauricio's still so young though. He still has so much potential. So I think we do Ruiz and then I think we give him this Michael Goldberg. He's also an outfielder who can play the infield. So he's like a younger Ahmed Rosario. I think this trade actually makes more sense. We have Ahmed Rosario for 5 more years, but at only 5 million. So I think we do it. Yeah. Okay, so they get Ruiz and they get Mike Goldberg, two very young, good potential prospects. We're doing it. Okay. And then let me just make sure that he is on. Okay, so he is on our major league roster. And then for our lineups, what this means is so he's going to come in against righties and play left field. No. Trent Grisham's not slugging, but he's doing good enough. So he's going to start in center. And then we're going to swap Mauricio and Rosario at short for now. Just because... Oh, man. Actually, you know what? Rosario can play center. So, Ahmed Rosario at center. Mauricio still at short versus righties. So we have Dylan Carlson, Ahmed Rosario, and then Geloff, Soler, Chapman, Brown, Chapman. Oh my God. We actually have guys that can get on base. Okay. Then Marisa, Noda, Soderstrom. Okay. And then versus lefties, Mauricio is really struggling versus lefties. So Ahmed Rosario is going to go to short. And Noda is going to play first. Why does the computer do this? Brownie's not going to play center, though. Trent Grisham in center. Brown in right. Carlson in left. Brown is not great against lefties, but actually, we are gonna put, so since Brown's not good against lefties and Noda can play the outfield, Noda goes to right field, and then Sean Lima the guy that we brought up, he is going to stick at first. And then Ahmed Rosario is going to lead off against lefties. No, Dylan Carlson, then Ahmed Rosario because he has huge clutch. Then Chapman, Soler, Lima, Geloff. Okay. So that's our lineup. And then pitching, Tristan McKenzie pops in. At number 2, Clevenger is going to come in. Trevor Rogers, our young guy, is going to be our lone relief. Okay. I think this is good. Let me just check. Okay, so yeah. Yep. Check our minor league lineups. Okay. See here, a left fielder. Put Pineda. Okay. So that's the trade deadline. I feel pretty good. We didn't get anyone who's necessarily performing exceptionally well, like pitching wise. Like Tristan McKenzie is not pitching great this year, but he gives us a lot of potential further down the road for guys that were doing just as good. I feel good about that because I think he's going to come back the second half of the season. That's what I'm banking on. He's going to come back and pitch to the same level he was when he was Cleveland. We also get Trevor Rogers, a young lefty with very high potential. May not actually end up being anything, but in the long relief role, he doesn't hurt us compared to the other guys that were there. Mike Clevenger's bouncing back. Finally broke under a 3 ERA. Same with Tyler Wells. So as long as our pitching just continues to improve, or at least stay where it's at, and then in our lineups, Mauricio not doing, he's not doing bad. It's just we've lost all the pop in our bat, but we get Ahmed Rosario, a guy who can play outfield and the entire infield, who is crushing it right now. And so hopefully he continues to have a career year. I feel pretty good about those moves. So now we will sim a day. The Rays want to offer one more trade. Nick Allen for starting pitcher JT Brudebaker. I feel like we already looked at this guy, right? Yeah, we don't. That's fine. He's injured. Okay, our last day to sign draft picks. So we look at Bourbon. He actually looks like he could be really good defensively and an okay bat. Could be a C potential guy, which isn't bad. At least gives us some depth. And He wants 245 or 242. We'll offer him, looks like 80K above what he's asking for. That's fine. And then Steve Sparks, who actually could be a B potential player, we'll offer him what he's asking. We'll go 317. Okay, so he signs. That's fine. Do they actually end up making the team next year? Probably not. Okay. We're going to sim one more day. And the moment of truth. Hey, not a bad draft. Not too bad at all. Okay. Okay. So Douglas Vaughn is the player we were hoping he would be. Originally he was, at like in the 90s or something like that. When we scouted him, we said he was like the 6th ranked player or something like that. We got him at number 32 or number 30. And he looks pretty good. 73 overall with 87 potential. Pretty good defensively. Really good against righties. Okay versus lefties. Not a ton of power, but good vision, discipline, and clutch. So he'll be able to get on base. He'll be able to drive batters in. His power will improve. And that's a great pick. Now we of course have Geloff. But Geloff's also not playing well. So it's always good to have someone behind him. Then we have Sean Almanzar, guy we got in the competitive balanced first round. He has a long way to go, but he has 85 potential, he's 60 overall, low contact skills, decent power, good defense. That's okay. Right fielder James Santos, same thing, 58 overall, but 87 potential. Feel really good about that. Already very good defensively, has really good speed, very aggressive on the base path, and just needs to develop his hit tool. Added some depth at catcher with Aldo Murillo, who he has amazing contact, already at 18 years old. No power, but great contact skills, good vision, discipline, clutch, has a cannon of an arm behind the plate. Bourbon ended up not being a C potential, he's a D potential, only 54, so, he will probably not be on the team in a year or two. And then down here, though, Brandon Yoshida ends up getting B potential. But still B potential. Only 52 overall, so still has a lot to develop. But I still feel really good about that. And then Steve Sparks did end up getting C potential, but just barely. And only a 45 overall. He's never going to see the majors, but he might at least be on the team for a while. At least fill out our AA rosters, but he'll be in single A for a long time, or just not on the team. But we have 3 mid to high B potential in position players. We possibly have Chapman's replacement at third. Given Douglas Vaughn's strong arm, we could actually move him to third or add that as his secondary position. And then we also added a right fielder who apparently can only play right field. He has no idea how to move to left field or center, which I find very odd. But I feel really good about that draft. We made some good trades, and now with 2 months to go, we need to move up 7 games to get a wild card spot. I think we made a couple key trades that can get us there. We're going to have lots of games versus the Angels and the Mariners. So as long as we continue to beat the Angels and the Mariners, and then maybe the Tigers and the Orioles slump, we could easily find ourselves in the wild card spot. I mean, look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games versus the Angels in September. If we were to win all those games, we would almost assure ourselves a chance at a wild card. But that will be all for today's stream. We did a lot. We made some big trades. We had a great draft. And I think we are set up to make another late playoff push. And who knows? Who knows? All we have to do is make it to the playoffs. And if we're hot, we can win it all. But that's it for today's episode. Brandon, Adam, thank you so much for joining and watching live. If you are watching this as a VOD, as a video after it is live, I appreciate your time as well. Thank you so much. If you're new, please consider a subscription. I'd love if you want to like the video. I'd really appreciate that. If you disliked it, you can dislike the video and let me know why, how I can improve my content in the future. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.